Hey guys, so I know it's another 3 weeks since the last upload. Sorry, just haven't been around my PC as of late. But for these next few months coming up, I just want to lock down and hit 200k because I really want to hit 200k and we're not that far off away from it. So hopefully with me being at my PC a lot more often, I can upload more on this channel. Just in case you don't know how this channel works, it's pretty simple. I answer a question from you guys, and if you want to ask your own question, there'll be a Google Doc down below, and hey, it might be featured on the channel. Today though, I'm going to do things a little differently because I want to talk about something that I feel like should be talked about a lot more. And that's the answer to the question of the day, which is, how do you look at your YouTube statistics? The answer, you don't. Okay, maybe a better response would be the less often you look at them, the better. And I'll start with a story that many YouTubers are very much familiar with, and that is the live subscriber count. The live subscriber count is pretty self-explanatory. Anytime someone was to click the subscribe button, there would be an increase in the live count. And throughout 2019 and 2020, when I first got back into YouTube, I would look at that figure at least every hour because it was a straight dopamine rush for me any single time someone subscribed to the channel. I mean, the way that my brain would respond to a single increase in sub count, I mean, it was practically a drug. And already that sounds unhealthy as hell. And then you remember that people can unsubscribe to the channel. And there would be times where I'd be on a little high just because someone subscribed to the channel, or maybe I had 2 people subscribe to the channel. But once that number decreased even just once, it just felt horrible. My day would just be ruined up until the next high, basically. Up until the next time that my subscriber count would increase. Now, if it decreased again, oh yeah, then my day would be even worse. And I wish I learned this way sooner, and again, that's just such an unhealthy way of approaching YouTube. And if you do this, please stop doing it. This is gonna be kind of a reoccurring thing when it comes to this video, but growth doesn't just happen all of a sudden, you know? People that you see that have exploded onto the scene, it's extremely rare. Most of the time, it's very gradual, and sometimes you don't even notice it. I'm gonna lead this into views because I think this is something a lot more people are guilty of, and that is checking your views daily. It's not as extreme as live subscriber count, but I think it's still very unhealthy. Again, going back to growth, right? It doesn't just happen all of a sudden. And those little spikes that you get from uploading a video, very deceiving. Do not look into them that deeply. The best way to look at your views is to look at it once every week because it will give you a far better measure of how well your channel is doing. And also, it's a much better feeling when you see that you've gained over 300 views and, I don't know, like 50 subscribers in a whole week instead of seeing, I don't know, like 20 views and 3 subscribers in one day. So again, if you check your views daily, stop doing that, please. For your own sake. I'm gonna go to one more metric, and that is viewer retention rate. Now, if you don't know what viewer retention rate, it's basically how long someone is watching a video until they click off. And this metric has very much influenced what you see on the main page. And you might know what types of videos I'm talking about, where the content is basically being thrown at you at hyper speeds. There's like a transition or a sound effect every 0.3 nanoseconds, and it's so much that you almost forget to breathe sometimes. Me personally, I really don't like this type of content. It feels kind of devoid of life. Nothing against the creators, obviously, because that's the game, but this is what the game has created, and I hate it. And I hate it because it feels like creators are kind of limiting themselves. And that's just not the YouTube I want to be a part of. And we talked about the people at the top that have made it with this type of editing style, but there's a lot of people who follow that gospel and are nowhere near these numbers. And some of these people, they might just be, you know, get rich quick kind of people, but majority of people simply just want to be a full-time YouTuber. They want to achieve a dream that they've had for however many months, however many years. And by doing something like this and seeing no success out of it, It's demoralizing. Quickly off topic for a second. Fuck YouTube gurus, by the way. They'll promise you in their courses over 100,000 subscribers in 30 days and whatnot. Preach all these things that Mr. Beast has said in the past, even though they themselves have never earned over 100,000 subscribers or even really 5,000 subscribers. They take advantage of people's dreams, absolute scum of the earth. Fuck them all. But this isn't just viewer retention rate, this is also views and subscribers. I think views and subscribers a little bit more towards the later stages when maybe you have more of an established audience, but all these metrics feel like limits if we look at them too much, if we look at them too deeply. I find myself making videos about more popular topics because that's just gonna get more views, that's gonna get more subscribers. And as a result, I have to put stuff that I feel more passionate about on the shelf and delay the process of those types of projects. And I don't like that at all. I really don't like that. There's a lot of niche topics that I know won't do well, but I know I'd have fun making. And I think the biggest game when it comes to YouTube in general, for me at least, is that balance between what I want to make and what people want to see, or what people think they want to see. What I'm trying to get at here is I don't think people should look at YouTube analytics that much, or even at all, because it almost dictates what we make. And this is the best job in the world anyone can have. And if you are being dictated by the algorithm or your statistics, it's like having a boss. The whole point of this job is to do what you want to do. Obviously, you have to find ways to be successful with it, but you don't have to limit yourself. You don't have to feel inclined to go down one route because you think that's the end all be all. I promise, the content you see right now where everything's being thrown at you at hyper speeds, I mean, it's slush. It's garbage. I don't care what anyone says. It's garbage. But I remember watching a video from someone else saying that even though it feels like this is the end of YouTube, it almost feels like a computer is writing up some of these videos. This is the best opportunity to go out there and create your own stuff. Because now, more than ever, people just want to see something new. I know this is going to be a bit of an unpopular opinion amongst the YouTube community because, well, how the hell do you grow? If you're not looking at your stats, how do you grow? Well, I'll tell you how I did it. I can't guarantee that it's the main way to do it, because there really isn't any main way to do it. You just have to go and create videos and you'll learn along the way. But I can at least give you some tips, and how I did it at least was I picked a niche, football, made videos about topics that I thought were interesting to me and what I thought people would enjoy. From time to time, I'd go and look at what other people were creating, seeing the trends in terms of what videos were doing well, and I put my own twist on them. That's a very simplified journey. If you want the more technical stuff, just focus on having effective thumbnails and titles. With thumbnails, my big thing is always avoid text as much as possible. Try to communicate your video with as little amount of images as possible. That's the most effective way to make a thumbnail, in my personal opinion. I know this isn't the most efficient way of doing it. I know. You're not gonna get that from me though, because the way I look at YouTube is in a more healthy way, in a way that I can do this without burning out for a long time, because I love this job more than anything in the world. And I don't want it to fizzle out just because I let the algorithm be my own boss. The way I look at YouTube, the growth isn't going to be the most efficient. And who cares, right? Because at the end of the day, if you're having fun with YouTube, if you're just going out there creating whatever you want to make, of course you have to follow a certain niche, in the editing style you want to do it in, while always having the mentality of improving your content through asking your friends and family and anyone else how to improve upon it, I promise you, the growth you will experience will be more satisfying than if you were to follow in someone else's footsteps. So stop wasting time looking at your stats and use that time to make some content.